Today, and we're fitting screen today. Got to make a bracket. Been thinking of different ways how I could do it. I've had many different ideas, and I've now gone firm with one. So the idea I have gone with meant I had to remove the ignition barrel, which sat pretty much there, because where I want the screen to fit I wouldn't be able to put the key in. I was thinking of making it hinged, so you could hinge the screen, put the key in and then drop the screen back down, which would have been pretty cool, but wouldn't make the screen very solid. I'd have to have a way of securing the screen at the bottom once I'd folded it down or had a tight hinge. Obviously it'll flap about when you're driving or get a slight bit of vibration, which wouldn't be good for the electronics. So it needs to be pretty much fixed in place. So I've decided just to do away with this. The only thing I'm going to lose really, apart from obviously a key, is the steering lock function. But if anybody wants to take a Sidecar, or any bike for that matter, breaking these steering locks is not a difficult task, and they know exactly what they're doing. So if they want to take it, they're going to take it. This little steering lock is not going to prevent that happening. So I'm not fussed about that. The key, it's just 2 wires for the ignition. Although it is a 4-wire setup there, there's only 2 that I actually use, which will be the positive up to the key and then the return once you turn the key on. So 2 wires. So all I do is simply put these, that's the connector 4 that goes into the original ignition barrel. All I do is put this on a switch and hide the switch somewhere, or I could get a generic key barrel and actually mount the key barrel somewhere on the bike, so you'd still have to put a key in, you just wouldn't put it in the traditional place up there, it would be down here somewhere. And as I say, the only reason they have it there is, well, for ease more than anything, but also because it acts as the steering lock. So anyway, I have options with that, so that's not of concern. So now that said barrel is removed, I will now be able to place this exactly where I want it, which is nice central on the handlebars there. Dropped it down. It's going to cover the mounts for the handlebars, make it look a little bit aesthetically pleasing when you're looking at the bike from this direction, hiding some of the gubbins. Also putting it there rather than out in front is going to allow me to bring the screen further in as well, so the screen's not sitting right out here, which it would have been if I had it set up sort of there. So over there, covering that'll be great. So all I've got to do now is make a bracket. Again, I've got one of my old radiator brackets here, or cooler matrix brackets, one of which I used, or cut a leg off anyway, for that back sensor, if you remember. So I've got any amount of it, well, I've got 4 of them. So anyway, this one just so happens to fit nicely over the top there. So all I've got to do is make them holes bigger for them mounts. I'm going to trim most of this off. And then I've got some mounting bolts there which can actually mount to the handlebar securing points. So it's got the cutout already there for that cable. Looks like it was nearly made for it. I'll look at my. It has got another mounting point there, but not fussed about that one. Yes, it'll mount on them too, and that'll be fine. So that'll be the screen mounted today. Dilly dilly. Okay, next on the agenda is a bit more electrics. So as we know, I've got my luggage carrier on the back of here, putting our tents and chairs and whatnot. However, it's got no lights, which I will need. So I need indicators, brake light, tail light, and number plate light, and also buy a number plate. So I've got all the bits I need. Here's my little missile indicators. Well, they're not just indicators, they do everything. Indicator, brake, tail light, which is fantastic. So looking at this, I can either mount them there, I can just drill and tap into the metal there, that'll be spot on. Cable will go inside, I'll drill a hole at the bottom so the cable comes out, so it's nice and tidy. The only thing I was thinking if I put it there is the back end just sits proud, so no doubt that will get knocked when putting stuff in and out of the carrier, so really it needs to be flush. So I'm looking at mounting it up here. Therefore, it will sit just inside there, and if anything rubs down it, it'll just rub down the side. It's not going to break it, as opposed to something sticking out like that. So I think that'll be all right and do the job for indicators, tail and side lights. I've got this old thing I took off my son's car. Kept it just in case, and lo and behold, I need it. So I'll just undo them bolts there that are holding this support bar on, drill a hole, screw that onto there for my number plate lights. Sorry, for my number plate. And then I'll just drill these holes bigger. It'll just need one on each side. They're really light. I could put a bit of sticky tape on the back as well if I wanted, just to keep that side in place. I don't need to tighten these up fully. The stress is going laterally, so they're on nylocks there. So this is plastic. Obviously, if I needed to tighten this up fully, I wouldn't be able to with plastic. It would just break it. But I don't need to. It just needs nipping up, because as I say, the stress is going that way through the bolt, not that way. So yeah, I'll just drill them out a bit more and mount them. So that'll be the number plate lights and other relevant lights done. And then I've just got to wire it up to a standard 7-pin plug. I can get all the cables to go through here. Yeah, I'll do it underneath, or I'll drill a hole underneath. All the cables will go up through this bar, exit at the bottom here, and then ready to plug in to my standard 7-pin socket there. So I shall crack on with that. Dilly dilly. Okay, cracking on. So it's took a bit of doing. Nothing's quick, as we say. So I've drilled and tapped holes in there. Basically, I had to tap them so get my little light, so I can get that thread in. So they'll basically screw into there, and then I'll just tighten it and nip it up with the nut. Obviously the cable goes through the hole as well. So I've routed my cables ready for connection. So I've got my 4 wires, earth, indicator, tail and brake. They run through the tube. Okay, cracking on. So it's took a bit of doing. Nothing's quick, as we say. So I've drilled and tapped holes in there. Basically, I had to tap them so get my little light, so I can get that thread in. So they'll basically screw into there, and then I'll just tighten it and nip it up with the nut. Obviously the cable goes through the hole as well. So I've routed my cables ready for connection. So I've got my 4 wires, earth, indicator, tail and brake. They run through the tube, or the square box section even, runs round, up, and then I drilled through there, popped them out there. You can see I've got my Wallaces on there, so we don't get any chafing of the wires and short circuiting. So I've got another Wallace on there, and a couple of Wallaces here as well. Champion. And then I've threaded the cable then through exits here, and this is where the plug will be to plug in for electrics. I've left these proud, as you can see, the loop, because I've got to do some joining now. I only need 4 wires exiting that. Sorry, 5, because I need an earth. So anyway, some of these need joining together, because obviously tail lights are just off one circuit, so I can join left and right tail lights together. Same as left and right brake lights. Same as the earths. So the only singular which will go straight down to there, which won't have a join, is your indicator left and right. Once that's done, I can thread them in there. I can join the cables to the light units themselves. Then I can put this cap back on the end there. I will be obviously putting tape around these as well. But that's it. That's all the wires you'll see, really. Just them bits there, and you won't even see them. I've got the number plate to put on and the number plate light. That was the other thing. So I do have a earth and a positive from the tail lights to connect to the number plate light. Magic. I shall crack on a bit more with that. Dilly dilly. Hello. That's not the number plate for the bike. It's just our last spare one for the trailer. So all done. So I've got number plate light there above. This plastic's around where I can just screw any number plate onto. And discreetly, I've got my brake, tail and side lights on the side. Top job. As always, I'm happy with that. Knee wires. Cool, so they're not in the way too much, they don't sit too proud, so that's spot on. I've got my cables coming out here. If I can get the camera in an angle you can see it. There's the cable there. Obviously I've labelled them all, so I know what's for what. And that's ready for a socket to then go into there. And I've still got to wire the socket up to the bike, obviously. So I can't test function of the lights yet. However, not the end of the world, because even if I could I wouldn't show you, because that'll be all part of the final reveal. But that's that job done. And again, that's took more or less the best part of a day. And you think it's literally 2 side lights and a number plate light. It's just the work that's got to go into it, you know, drilling and tapping and soldering. But when you take your time, you end up with a good result. Dilly dilly. So while I'm on with the luggage rack, another thing I need to do is sort this toe bracket out. The reason being, it's not designed really for a downward force. It's just designed to pull. So with there only being one bolt there and one bolt there, I mean, just with this on, there's quite a bit of movement in it. You'll not really be able to see in the video because I'm moving with it, but there's a lot of movement. The more weight I add on that, it's just going to push and end up bending the bracket somewhere. So I was scratching my head thinking I'm going to have to get something like welded solid onto this, even though I've just had it powder coated, to make it like a solid square rather than a tube. So get some whatever welded on solid. However, I've had another thought. Rather than doing that, all I need to do really is get another bracket that'll go on here where I can get another bolt in. So that's going to stop that up and down movement. So it took us a while, but I've found this is 38mm tubing. So I've got a 38mm bracket on order. It's a pipe bracket. I'm hoping it'll do the job. The only problem being is this is on a bend, so that is literally stopped on the end of the straight piece, and then it starts to bend. So when I put the clamp on, I don't know how it'll go. It doesn't matter if there's a gap, as long as it goes on snug. Worst case, where I was thinking I could maybe relocate the bracket further back. In that, I can undo the bolt and put the bracket this side so it comes across, which will bring the tow bar in closer, but that's fine, which will then push this further down and allow us to get 2 brackets on, where the existing bracket and the other bracket on the straight bit. But I'll work that out when I get the bracket. So I'd enlighten you on that. Dilly dilly.